Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the sources you send our way, really unpack them, and pull out the key insights and, well, often fascinating details.
Exactly. We're here to help you navigate through all the information, figure out what's what in the materials we get to look at together.
And today's source is, well, it's quite a mix. Starts off looking like, just a video log of a Saturday morning market trip in Antigua.
Uh-huh. But then you look closer, and it's got these other layers, really unexpected stuff woven in.
Absolutely. You've got the sort of sensory details of the place, the people, then these almost esoteric statements, and also the creator talking about making the video itself.
Yeah, all bundled together. Grounded reality, abstract ideas, and personal reflection.
So our mission today is to sort of trace these different threads, see what each one is saying, and figure out what's most interesting or relevant for you, the listener, from, well, all of it.
Right. Let's start with the most concrete part, the actual market visit.
Okay, so we're dropped right into St. John's, Antigua, Saturday morning.
And right away, there's this practical detail having to take a different route because of rain. A shower delay, he calls it.
Yeah, so you get this sense of a real journey, not just appearing there, passing landmarks. How was it? Prince Class Monument.
That's the one. And specific streets, too. Temple Street, South Street. It feels, grounded in a real place, a real walk.
And then arriving at the market, the description is just packed inside.
Instantly gives you that feeling, doesn't it? Crowded, bustling.
And he gets specific about the goods. Fruits, mangoes, bananas, vegetables, pumpkins, tomatoes.
Brown nuts, too, and honey. Gives you a real taste of what's available locally right then.
But it's not just listing things. He talks about interacting with the vendors, asking where the stuff comes from.
Which is interesting. He finds out the pumpkins are from an estate up there by the quarry.
Right, and he even gets the area name Lindsay. Or Steed Lindsay.
Yeah, those little details, they paint a picture, don't they? About local sourcing, the geography.
It's more than just buying vegetables. It's like a small window into the local economy.
It shows he cares about where things originate. But the source also mentions it wasn't all positive interactions.
Yes.
Yeah.
He observes people talking about him, how does he put it, from the corner of their mouth.
Uses words like tripping, abusing, even spitting.
So acknowledging some, maybe friction or negativity from some locals.
Definitely. It adds a layer of social reality to the market scene, not just picturesque stalls.
And there was that observation about the cruise ship visitors, too.
Oh, right. Down by the cruise line, he says their business is tours, excursions. They're not really in the market itself.
It feels like he's drawing a contrast there between the tourist track and the sort of everyday local life happening in the market.
Yeah, different ways of engaging with Antigua, maybe, and then he just sort of reflects on the market session being done.
Okay, so that's the tangible layer. Now, this is where it gets different, because woven right into that description are these other kinds of messages.
This is the surprising part, definitely. You're reading about pumpkins, and suddenly it's about, well, cosmic shifts.
Like the statement, Earth shall ascend, and her children shall ascend. Big claims.
Huge. And it's presented as empowering, providing healing frequencies, even mitigating transition pains.
And dealing with negativity, neutralizing large-scale sabotage attempts from negative factions.
So it's framing this ascension as both a positive process and one facing opposition or challenges. It's a whole narrative.
And central to this seems to be DNA activation.
Right. But crucially, the source says it's an inside job. Meaning it's not something done to you from outside. It's supported, maybe, but never forced. It's a liberation from within shining outward.
Okay, so the power, the change, starts inside the individual according to this view.
Exactly. Agency is key here, which leads into the guidance offered.
Yes, direct advice for the listener. Things like, hold a fearless heart.
Embrace the tugs you feel. Listen for ancient calls stirring in your cells. It connects the big picture to, like, gut feelings.
And it gets practical, too, suggesting you might need different foods or more sunlight. Listen to your body.
And importantly, don't worry about ridicule for doing these things. Following your intuition is part of it, it seems.
Then there's the whole section about the moon. That was striking.
Very specific. It asks, who controls the moon now? And claims it was a stronghold of separation, but it's back with the light.
So the idea is the moon itself, or forces linked to it, were used to negatively influence humanity.
That's the implication. That shadows cast from the moon influence the minds, acting like a veil, dimming our inherent brilliance.
Wow. And it mentions those who will dark webs.
So yeah, a narrative of cosmic influence, control, and now liberation related to the moon. shifting from separation to light.
Okay, and connected to all this is disclosure of society.
Uh-huh. A time when people who've gone through this inner shift, this activation, might become noticed. People will look to you for study.
But it's framed positively.
Very much so. It's okay, there's nothing to fear. It's described as a cause for celebration and unity.
And confidence about it is infectious.
Suggesting that how people approach this disclosure matters. It can influence the collective mood, maybe.
Is there a timeline suggested for this?
Well, it's cautious. Timeline for full disclosure has many variables, but it sees a high probability in the coming months for more overt appearances.
Overt appearances of what, though?
It gives an example, like after a government discloses something specific, say a recovered craft or universe.
Okay, so linking it to potential real-world events or announcements, that provides a bit more context.
And our enthusiasm, the listener's enthusiasm for this, is called the green light.
Meaning collective desire or acceptance helps it happen.
Seems to be the idea. Readiness is the catalyst.
So what's the ultimate outcome of all this, according to the source?
It's described as the beginning of sovereignty and cosmic citizenship.
Big concepts, sovereignty, like personal power.
And cosmic citizenship, belonging to something larger, the universe. Learning humans are powerful co-creators.
Right, stepping into a bigger role. And then that very specific quote at the end of this section about who can connive you.
Yes, your friends connive you. Your cousins connive you. Jesus Christ connive you.
It's repeated. What do you think connive means there? It's not a standard word.
No, it's not, in the context. Yeah. Maybe it means truly see you, recognize your transformation, understand you on this deeper level. It feels like a deep, almost spiritual seeing.
Interesting. Okay, so we've got the market, the cosmic stuff. But there's a third layer, too. The creator talking about, well, creating.
Yeah, the behind-the-scenes look. Yeah. Which grounds it all again, in a way. We hear about the practicalities being on rec, actually filming.
Dealing with that rain delay we mentioned, changing the route, noticing traffic, the real-world stuff of making video outside.
And that little personal note, supposed to be at work.
Right. Choosing to film the market instead. Tells you something about his priorities, his passion for this.
Definitely. And he gets into the tech side, too. New computer gear.
Ah, yes. The more powerful CPU and GPU and unified memory, all to render videos faster.
It shows the effort involved, the investment, his goal. Uploading with minimum bandwidth.
Trying to get megabits per second, which he says is fast for his situation.
Which highlights, the potential challenges of infrastructure, internet speed where he is. It's not always easy to share this stuff.
And then his reflection on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Enjoying this session, despite those negative comments he observed earlier.
Yeah, saying he won't let it get him down. He's been doing it for years. That shows resilience.
And he uses that proverb, the king has no honor in his own country.
Which seems directly related to those comments he perceived in the market, right? Feeling maybe misunderstood or unappreciated locally.
It adds that personal vulnerability, like, I keep doing this anyway.
And we get a tiny glimpse of his routine market Saturday and Sunday, hiking for exercise.
Rounds out the picture a bit. The person behind the camera.
And the sign-off, country, promising another video. Simple, personal.
So when you step back, it really is something, isn't it? These three things together. The gritty reality of the market.
Layered with these huge, almost sci-fi or spiritual claims about ascension, the moon, disclosure.
And then wrapped in the creator's own process, the tech stuff, the personal feelings.
It's quite a package. Seeing them together gives you a window into how this one individual sees the world, perhaps. How they connect the everyday to the cosmic, through their own act of creation.
Yeah, it shows how experience, belief, and the act of sharing can all merge in one narrative. And that's what doing a deep dive like this lets us see all the different kinds of value and meaning packed in.
Exactly. So from this one source, you've got the sensory feel of that Antiguan market, the specifics of the local produce.
And you've also encountered this whole set of ideas about DNA activation, the moon's role, a particular take on disclosure.
And importantly, you get a sense of the creator themselves, the challenges they face, technically and maybe socially, but also their dedication, why they do it.
It just shows, doesn't it? Even something that seems simple on the surface can have so many layers when you actually, well, dive deep.
Absolutely. Looking at the whole thing gives a much richer picture than just focusing on one aspect.
Definitely. So here's a final thought to leave you with based on all this. Think about your own life. How does the everyday reality you experience, maybe the big stories or narratives you believe in or hear about, and your own acts of creating or sharing, how do those things connect for you?
And what does it mean When we find someone, like in this source, presenting all those layers together side by side, what does that tell us about how we make sense of our world? Something to ponder.